We get support from Quince.
So we've been talking about Quince a lot lately, and as we head into fall, it's the perfect time to reset your wardrobe with their amazing pieces. I think it's so fun to do when the seasons turn over to just spruce up your wardrobe with a couple specials, and Quince is the place.
Totally. We're talking organic cotton, Mongolian cashmere, tailored chinos from just $60. Premium fit and quality you'd expect from a luxury brand designer. I love Quince. You know, I like it understated and subtle, and I like stuff that has high quality. And Quince checks all those boxes.
I love a lot of stuff from Quince. Honestly, they have incredible premium denim, which is very important for fall. It's pretty much all I wear in the fall is denim. And Quince has such a good selection of quality denim. Their stuff is so versatile, timeless, and built to last that you just grab every single day without thinking.
Right. And all of that for 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They go direct to ethical factories, cut out the middlemen, so you get all that quality without overpaying for it.
We love that. And they do way more than clothes. They have bedding, cookware, bath essentials, travel must-haves, same deal, and great quality.
Upgrade your everyday. Download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers or go to quince.com/Dax. Get free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and the UK too. That's QUINCE.com/Dax.
We get support from Skims. Oh man, do I love Skims. I've been living in the Skims lightweight cotton collection all summer, and I have to tell you, getting dressed has become so easy. I just throw it on. It just feels right immediately, whether I'm grabbing coffee or I'm on the couch all day or I'm out, even going to dinner. The cotton is so lightweight and breathable, which in this heat is a non-negotiable. The cotton jersey t-shirt, I just need everyone to know about this one. This one hugs in all the right places. It's very soft and it still looks and fits the same after months of washing, which is very hard to do, I feel, with t-shirts. I've been wearing the black cotton jersey t-shirt with basically everything all summer long. It goes great with any patterned skirt or shorts or pants. I mean, anything truly. I believe that's probably my favorite piece from the cotton collection, but they also have great lightweight cotton thongs that are so comfortable and they're cute. That is a very, very hard mix to achieve, especially with undergarments. I feel if you can find some that are cute, but also comfortable and do the job, that is a win. And Skims has really, really figured that out with the lightweight cotton collection. Shop Skims cotton and all of my favorite pieces at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select Armchair Expert in the drop-down menu that follows.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. You've heard us talk about BetterHelp for a while, but I don't know that we've ever talked about how much people love this service when they use it. BetterHelp has an average live therapy session rating of 4.9 out of 5 based on over 1.7 million client session reviews. And you can check out the reviews yourself at betterhelp.com/reviews to see how much they love BetterHelp. Knowing that kind of service feedback from real people speaks for itself. I'm a huge proponent of therapy, as we've talked about before. I've learned so many things about myself that I believe truly only an outside, objective person could help me come to. BetterHelp makes it easy to get started. Answer a few questions, get matched with a therapist based on your needs, and switch therapists at any time if it's not the right fit. See the reviews, see what stands out, and see if BetterHelp is right for you. Visit betterhelp.com/Dax. That's betterhelp.com/Dax. Welcome to a bonus episode of Armchair Expert. I'm joined by Monica Padman, as always. Hi. We have Malcolm Gladwell here.
Oh, we're so lucky.
And the only reason we have him here is to help him promote his podcast, Revisionist History, Season 5. Now, we don't benefit in any way from this.
No,
we have no professional ties to Malcolm.
We wish we did.
We just love him and we love his podcast. So we said, yeah. Well, why don't you come on and tell us about what Season 5 has to offer? But of course, it spins into other topics, as is prone to happen with Malcolm. There are 10 new episodes dropping every Thursday starting June 18th. So please enjoy this bonus exchange with Monica, Malcolm, and I.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
So Malcolm, this is the first we've ever done this. In fact,
Yeah,
I was
exciting.
I was thinking of an analogy, and it would be kind of like if we put the Ford Mustang on display at GM's big auto show. I mean, we've never promoted a competitor, but for some reason, we're really excited to do that.
Starting off strong on cars.
Yeah, I want to prime the pump with a little automotive.
We can hardly call you a competitor. You're way above us. Not even in the same league.
We're not competitors. We're colleagues. Our competitors are lesser media forms, like
Yes, agreed.
television, reading books, all those kinds of things.
Wow, so I'm going to be able to refer to you as one of my peers.
My
Yeah, you
God.
just gave me carte blanche to talk about my peer, Malcolm. But you have a new season of Revisionist History coming out. What number is this?
This is season 5.
Monica, I know some of the answers to these questions,
No,
but
I'm
I'm
just
just trying to get the ball
No, you
rolling.
don't.
Did
You
you hear
don't-
over
you
there?
don't
She's
know
like,
anything.
5, dipshit. You like the show.
Well, it's like you should have done a little research before we talked to Malcolm. Just the tiniest bit.
No, I got to say, this was a great thing for me to do because I'm not obliged to actually know anything because only you know what the new season is and your producers.
Yes.
Although, with that said, I did listen to episodes 1 and 2 last night, which, of course, I fucking loved. Your show is so
So
it's
good.
the Big Mac, man. It is. I know what I'm going to get. I get it every time, and I love it.
It's the original McDonald's French fry.
Yes,
And that's
the
a
fat
callback
version.
to your
Wait,
show.
my mind is just reeling with the Big Mac. I've never been called the Big Mac before. This is fantastic. This is like the highest praise I've ever heard.
Now, you know me, I like to let people behind the curtain. So after I interviewed you, we discovered that we both have the mutual friend of Lake Bell. And then so I started kind of sending her texts about you. I hope it got back to you. All of mine focused on how mischievous your eyes are. And I feel a little robbed in the Zoom 2D experience that I'm not getting the full provocative, mysterious, dangerous eyes.
Well, no, dangerous. Dangerous seems like a stretch. I always think of myself as fundamentally harmless, which is why the more harmless you are, the more you can get away with. I'm Canadian.
My father-in-law sent me a text yesterday that said, do you think that it's just occurred to Canada that they rented an apartment above a meth lab?
That's very good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Well, this season is where you listen to the 2 shows about hoarding
Yes. Yes.
and about art museums. That's as much as I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of weird, wacky moments. One of my favorite shows is where I went back and I interviewed all of my past assistants
Oh, boy.
Oh, cool.
because I wanted to know, how did I hire them? Because I have no memory. How did I hire them? Why did I hire them? Did it turn out? And it's a rare case of me engaging in some self-examination. And what I discovered is that my hiring practices are ludicrous. I mean, it's the worst. I barely interviewed them. I asked stupid questions. The whole point is I'm defending my approach to hiring.
Of course you are.
What I refer to as the nihilist position on hiring, which is we're fooling ourselves if we think we can make good predictions about whether someone's going to work out on the basis of like a 45 or an hour and a half. So why bother? Just like hire the first person who walks in the door, which is essentially what I've done. And it's almost always worked out.
Okay, so no other pattern emerged. Like, were they all inordinately tall or short or no patterns?
It's funny. Initially, I was going to do a different episode. I was going to talk about how I am obsessed with voices. And if someone has a good voice, I'm a sucker. It doesn't matter. I don't care what else is the case. If I hear a really great voice, I was realizing when I went back and interviewed all my old assistants is that they all do have fantastic voices. In fact, 2 of them who I interview a lot on the show, one is Jewish, grew up in South Africa, moved to Sydney and then America.
Oh, wow.
And then the other woman was also Jewish from North London. The 2 of them, their voices, and also they express themselves in this really fantastic way.
Is there any childhood comfort in the fact that your dad had an English accent?
I don't know. I've always been, you mentioned Lake Bell.
Yeah.
Lake has got an A+ voice.
Oh,
She just-
sure.
I'm so self-conscious about my voice now.
No, yours is thriving. We
Oh,
have
wow.
metrics. You had your own show, and it was humongous.
I think
so.
in despite of the
Do you-
voice.
No.
I am curious about the criteria.
No, Monica, I'm going to say you have a great voice.
Thank
You're not
you.
now. You're not. I'm going to say
Say
Lake
it.
Bell. Lake's in a category by herself.
Okay.
Well, she's employed as a voice actor regularly. So,
Yes,
you know.
yeah, makes sense.
True.
Yeah.
But I don't go into this in the episode, but I was thinking about this as a side thing. It's so weird, though. Your voice is literally something you have almost no control over. You have control over the word choice you use, and you can try and clean up your voice. But fundamentally, the tone of your voice is something that it's pure God-given.
It is, but I would say the cadence is the fingerprint, right? That's why I'm so drawn to your speech. It's not the tenor of your voice, it's your unique rhythm, your musicality it is very specific. No, Monica?
It is.
We just concluded. It's a fact.
It's 2-1. But that's actually not what the episode is about, is my case for nihilism. And it's called Hamlet Was Wrong, after one of my favorite brilliant intellectual called Albert O. Hirschman, who was this incredible figure. He escapes the Nazis in World War II, and then he goes back and he rescues all these Jews. He just had one of those magical James Bond lives. And he also happens to be this towering intellectual who was Freud's cousin. And he had this saying that Hamlet was wrong, meaning Hamlet couldn't make up his mind, to be or not to be. Is like, what should I do? What can I do? And Hirschman's point was not knowing what's happening shouldn't freeze you. It should do the opposite. It should free you. Because once you realize you have no understanding of what happens next, you're not in control of your own future, then you can do whatever you want. Hirschman was always doing these crazy things. Like at one point in the 50s, he takes his family and they just all move, I think, to Bolivia or the wilds of somewhere in South America. And he was like, why not? Why wouldn't I take my 2-year-old to some tiny town in the middle of nowhere? Because I don't know what's going to happen. That frees me up to do crazy things.
It makes you not culpable in any decision, basically, right? Like if you make a right turn, you didn't know there was a cliff on the other side. There's nothing to really feel guilty about. There's some liberation in your ignorance.
There's that, but you're phrasing it in a kind of negative way. I would phrase it in a positive way, which is every option is open to you once you realize you can't predict the future. And it's only our desire to try and predict the future that ends up limiting our choices. Like think about, you've just graduated from college and you're deciding, where should I move to? Well, most of us make very, very safe choices because we say, well, I wouldn't want to move to Tokyo because I don't know anyone in Tokyo and I'm predicting I'm going to be miserable and sit in my apartment. On what basis do you make that prediction?
True.
It's nonsense. You have no idea what's going to happen if you move to Tokyo. So why not just move to Tokyo?
Well, because there's a good chance you're right and you'll be miserable.
No.
Now, so back-to-back episodes 1 and 2 about art, ostensibly. And are there more about art in this next block?
No.
You and I seem to have a similar relationship with art, equally impressed and perplexed by the market. Yeah, like I can recognize some genius, but on another hand, I don't know. Some of the other stuff isn't so obvious to me, and is maybe the whole thing, the stock market. We all agreed that these have value. I'm very cynical of it, and yet I'm also very intrigued by it.
Not only that, I also don't understand museums because it strikes me, this is the thing I was trying to explore in those two pieces, although I'm making these pieces sound really boring.
No.
But the minute you mention the word art museum, people fall asleep. But I was interested in this weird fact that they have so much stuff and they won't get rid of it. They're the worst kind of hoarder. Once you realize that 95% of the art that the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York has is in storage in New Jersey and will never see the light of day, 95%. It's weird. I would have thought the function of a museum was to show art to the world. But in fact, that's not their function. Their function is they're like those self-storage units that you drive by on the highway, only like high end.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars at stake. And that's what they're spending an enormous amount of their resources on, is simply storing all this stuff, which they'll never show to anybody. And they keep acquiring more and more and more. They are classic hoarders.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was shocked in that episode to hear your take and someone else's that hoarding, I would have thought it was connected to OCD. I would have thought it was an attempt to control and satiate your anxiety by, finding that and keeping it safe. But your explanation of it, or I guess your guest's explanation of it, was so much more positive. It was like someone with
very touching, actually. Well, you shouldn't give it away.
Right, okay.
That's a big part of the episode, the takeaway of why people hoard. But it was very beautiful, I thought.
But this notion that I think I can say that some people enjoy an object more than other people. That I guess that hadn't crossed my mind, even though, of course, I enjoy cars in a way that is clear other people don't. That somehow, they get a real-time enjoyment out of them, just looking at them and being with them.
Well, this is the thing. This is this guy, Randy Frost. And I don't want to give it all away, but he did say this one thing. You're absolutely right. He's someone who spent his entire life working with hoarders. And I kept asking him for his attitude towards the people he was working with. And it was of genuine affection. And he said, I have come to love them. And what he loves is their ability to see beauty in the ordinary. The most interesting thing he says, though, is it's all about memory, that you and I would have, there's a handful of objects which, like a photo of, I have a photo of me and my dad when I was very young, which when I look at it, all these memories flood back about my dad. There are a limited number of objects, though, in my life that have that kind of power. And his point about a hoarder is that every object in their life has that power. He told me the story about, and I tell it in the show, about working with this woman, and she won't throw out an ATM receipt from 6 years ago because it conjures up that day. And that was a lovely day in her life. And if she thinks if she loses the ATM receipt, she loses the memory. So her memory is encased in objects. And that's weird and interesting. And that's not bad. Also, it's not a pathology. It's just a different way their brain is wired.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a pathology until like the show that I've watched where you can't walk in the house and it's a fire hazard. I mean, I wonder if that veers into OCD.
It makes your life unmanageable, but at its core, it's something quite beautiful that has the potential to screw up your life because it gets out of control.
Yeah. And so one of the interesting things is it starts with just the revelation that their assets aren't really listed on their financials. And then you actually, you kind of talk about what the theoretical value would be of the Metropolitan Museum in the billions, right? I mean, billions of dollars.
In the hundreds of billions.
Yeah. It begged the question when I heard that, then how do they insure that? Is that stuff insured, or they can insure it, right?
Such a great question. You and I, our brains are wired in similar ways. I started talking to all these people about the fact that museums don't, on their balance sheet, list their collection as assets. They don't enumerate what they have. And my first question was exactly that one. It was like, how on earth do you insure it? So I started calling all these, and none of this in the show, but I started calling all these insurance guys and saying, if I'm the Met and I have $100 billion roughly of art, and I refuse to put it on my balance sheet. So I refuse to value it. Who insures it and how? And the answer is they don't really insure it. They buy a blanket coverage. If you think about it, it's a great dereliction of responsibility. If the Met burns down tomorrow, no one's mailing you a check for $50 billion the next day.
And then the other question it led to for me is, could a collection like this ever be assembled again? Is this almost a thing from the past? Like when you think of the value of those and what the income of a museum is through grants and everything else, I mean, could anyone build a collection like that in the future?
I mean, hard to do. You see it in LA. You have Eli Broad, super rich guy, devotes 30 years of his life and huge amounts of money to more than 50 years of his life to buying art, opens his own art museum. So it can happen, but you're right. It gets harder and harder and harder as time goes on. And what happens is the existing institutions get all the good stuff. When people die, they donate it, which is weird because typically if I'm a rich guy and I have 50 valuable paintings and I die and I will them to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, LACMA in LA, most of that stuff's going to go straight into storage. So it's weird. It's like, why do rich people give art to museums if the museums are just going to stick them in storage facilities in New Jersey? I mean, the whole thing makes no sense to me whatsoever. They should give... I was talking to this one guy who said, when you realize that most art is in storage, you begin to wonder, so why don't museums take the stuff that's in storage and put it on the walls of schools?
Sure.
He said there should be no city hall in the country that doesn't have a bunch of nice paintings on the wall. Now, are those at risk for being damaged or stolen? Sure. But you can't let that stop.
Who cares?
Who cares? The whole point of art is, I was talking to this friend of mine who's an art photographer who works sell for a lot of money. And I was asking him, how much of the stuff that you have sold over the course of your long career is publicly available to be seen? It's like almost all of it is locked away. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
It's
I
like
just saw-
they're holding on to a secret of some sort. Like it's almost like the exclusivity of it.
Totally. Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
We are supported by Billy. Self-care and routine are always important. Whatever you're using to get ready for the day should make you feel amazing. Meet Billy. They've created everyday essentials by delivering premium razors and high-performing body care directly to you. You go to mybilly.com to get their starter kit for just $9, Monica.
I have one and it is a nice razor.
That includes their award-winning razor, 2 refill blades, and a magnetic holder that keeps your razor safe and dry in between uses. And Billy is out to change more than the way you shave. They just released 3 completely clean must-have products to add to your routine: lip balm, dry shampoo, and face wipes. So stock up. And then their razors are absolutely awesome. I only shave a little bit of my face, but I got to shave the neck, and the neck is really prone to razor bumps, ingrown hairs. None of that with Billy.
I haven't gotten any cuts since I started using Billy.
Oh,
razors.
that's fantastic. And to express a little love for our show, go to mybilly.com/Dax. It's a small way you can support us while getting the best razor you will ever own. It's just $9 to get your starter kit plus free shipping as always. Go to mybilly.com/Dax. Spelled my, BILLIE.com/Dax. Well, I just learned of an underbelly in the art world. You're probably already familiar with it, but I guess some criminals in Europe steal these really famous paintings, not to sell because they're almost valueless. Like 5 cents on the dollar, you can sell them to another criminal empire. But in general, they do it as an insurance policy that if they need leverage in negotiating some kind of conviction, that a lot of criminals keep these as leverage. And I was like, what a fascinating...
Oh, you mean if I'm arrested, I say, I know where the Van Gogh is.
Exactly.
Will you give me a reduced sentence?
Exactly.
Why aren't we doing that?
Well, it crossed my mind. I'm like, I need some leverage. Just some real general cultural leverage in case I find myself in a pickle.
This is opened up a whole new... I had not thought about this. This is such an interesting idea.
Yeah.
But you could do the same thing with gossip.
Oh, sure. Like in a blackmail sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch the Epstein documentary?
I have not watched that yet.
Oh, you haven't?
Man.
I have a whole series of things I've been working my way through this summer. I just haven't got there yet.
You're behind on a few of the pedophile docs?
I'm behind my bed. I've been watching The Staircase, that classic old
Oh,
true crime.
So good.
It's so good. By the way, from day one, I've been convinced that guy is 100% innocent.
Okay.
How far are you?
I'm really far. I got like 2 left.
Okay.
Okay. This is exciting. I feel like maybe this
Don't
is
ruin
another...
it.
Yeah,
if
no,
you
no.
I'm not
ruin
gonna-
it for me.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna clutch at a parallel here, and hopefully it sticks. Did you watch The Jinx? And did you find yourself kind of wanting to give Robert Durst a hug? You know, recognizing still that he's a criminal and he should be in jail, I found myself wanting to protect him and take care of him.
Really?
Yes,
I
I felt this deep affinity for him for some bizarre reason. I said to Kristen, I don't know, man. I think I'd let him sleep in our house still. I really, I think I'd have him over for dinner.
I knew weirdly way back in the day. So he comes from this famous real estate family. And one of the founders of it was, I believe, his uncle.
Yes, his dad and his brother were partners.
Yeah,
I believe.
Seymour.
Yeah.
Seymour is the patriarch. And I went to interview Seymour in the 90s. And he was this, used to be something called the debt clock in Times Square, who was a running total of the country. That was Seymour. And then way back in the day, on the front page of the New York Times, you could buy ad space on the bottom of the front page. Seymour would buy it all the time, just to like hold forth on how much he hated somebody. And he had one of the largest private libraries in America. And I went to his townhouse in Upper Side. He was one of these completely fascinating, self-made, brilliant, and he was one of those rich people who wanted to do really interesting things with his money, like the debt clock, or like buying these little things in the bottom of or buying like weird books. So when I watched the Durst thing, I just remembered this afternoon I once spent with Seymour.
Yeah. Wow, that's fascinating. Okay, so to round out my last question about your phenomenal show, How do you come upon a theme for a season? Oh, let me just first say, I said it to your producers, Lee and Heather, but when we listen to your show, we're so blown away with the production value. I mean, it's like watching The Jinx. It's like a very, very well produced.
Yeah.
It's so perfect, and we are abundantly aware of the amount of time that is for you and your team. It's incredibly impressive. And it seems, unless I'm wrong, does that interest you more? Are you veering more and more? Like, that's obviously valuable time you could spend researching a book or writing. And I know you were really pleased with the audiobook version of Talking to Strangers. So I just wonder, is this increasingly where you want your energy to go?
Totally. In fact, this week, I'm thinking more and more about long form podcasts that are really audiobooks. And I just spent the whole week, me and my friend Bruce, with Paul Simon.
Ah,
We're doing an audio biography, music biography of Paul Simon.
wow.
So one of the things we were doing the last couple of days was he would play a song and we would all be listening to one of his songs, and then he would annotate over the audio. So he would say, okay, listen to that guitar sound. And then he would tell you the style of the guitar playing, the person who was playing, the reason he's playing that way. He would say, that guy's from Lesotho. He's playing a South African interpretation of American country guitar from the 60s because he heard that on the radio and I heard that and I said, I want that. And he came and he played that on Graceland. It was that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've never understood why anyone would want to do a book about a musician. First of all, it's crazy. You want to hear the musician. So let's do a book where you hear everything. And the minute you hear it, it just makes so much more sense. So we're going to have a chapter called How to Listen to a Paul Simon Song, which is because there's these depths of complexity that now he can describe because he can play everything for you. My favorite example is, do you remember the song Come and Take Me to the Mardi Gras by him? It's an old song from the 70s.
I bet if you sang it, I'd recognize it.
Are you trying to make me sing it?
Of course, and I'm nudging Monica on that.
Okay, here goes. I'm going to do it.
Oh,
The
yes,
chorus-
an exclusive.
Exclusive. Here's the chorus. I'm a terrible singer. The chorus is, come and take me to the Mardi Gras. Da 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 da.
Oh, yes.
Da, da,
yes, yes.
Remember that song? Da da da
Yep,
da
yep.
da. Okay, so that song, there's a big falsetto part, which is done by a guy named Reverend Jeter, who is a black minister in Harlem, who sang in the famous gospel quartet. They go to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, to the famous R&B recording studio to record that song. He brings Jeter with him. He ships up from New Orleans a brass band, the Onward marching band from New Orleans. And the song itself is a calypso tune. So we have a white Jewish guy from Queens, New York, teams up with a gospel preacher from Harlem with a New Orleans brass band to go to Muscle Shoals, Alabama to do a calypso song. When he describes how all those pieces come together, it's just like magic. You're like, oh my God, what a genius.
Yeah.
I was sat there in awe yesterday.
Weirdly enough, I was just listening to Paul Simon a couple of weeks ago in the car, and I actually had the thought, maybe you don't even want to go near this thought, but I was like, if he was coming onto the scene today, doing virtually the exact same thing he had done, would he now be accused of cultural appropriation?
Absolutely.
I think he would, right? And I was like, there's some clear intention behind what he's done, but it did cross my mind that I don't know that it'd be viewed the same way today.
That's a big theme of this book we're writing. And what I want to argue about is, I think what he's doing is a very important part of creativity. As long as it's entered, he's not stealing people's traditions. He is discovering them and reinterpreting them. And I think that's the key. When you traffic in another cultural tradition, your intentions really matter.
Yeah.
And what are you doing and why are you doing it? And in his case, I think his intentions are, I want to make something magical and new out of all these pieces.
Yeah.
And I want to celebrate the stuff that I'm investigating. And also his New York, he grew up in New York in the 50s and 60s. That's what New York was. It was in Queens in 1955, when he's a teenager, there's 20 different cultures all going on at the same time. So that's his world. It's incredibly authentic to who he is.
It's the only story he could have told, probably.
Yeah. That's what he grew up with. He's not Dylan from Hibbing, Minnesota.
Right.
I also think it's only appropriation if it's him and 10 other white guys doing a replication. If it's this black gospel preacher and him, I mean, it's like that's just bringing sounds together. That's not like I'm going to pretend to be this.
Unless
you know?
Chevy Chase plays the black reverend in the music video, then we have
that's
some
a problem.
major problems.
Then we got some problems, yeah.
Then we have some problems.
Did you inquire about his friendship with Chevy Chase? I'd be curious.
I didn't know they were friends.
Well, you remember that Chevy Chase was in that video. Do, 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 do. You can call me Betty. Betty when you call, Now we've both sang some.
Your voice is better than mine, Dax.
No. It's only compounded by the fact that I live with a bona fide great singer. So, however bad I thought I was.
How come Monica hasn't sung?
Never.
She's a really good singer. This is a big point of frustration between her and I. I'll catch her in the back seat occasionally. I'm like, why aren't you doing that more often and loudly?
Why aren't you singing? Monica, you're a trained actress. What's the issue here?
I'm just self-conscious about it. There's something about singing that's so vulnerable.
Oh, sure.
Don't you think?
I
guess maybe you don't think.
No, I do, because you're thinking it is the instrument they say is some representation of their inside. So
I think it circles back to what we talked about at the beginning about you being infatuated with voices.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't really fix your singing voice. Like it is what it is. And I like to present things that I can fix. Like if it's wrong, I can be better at it, but I can't be better or worse at whatever I have going on with my vocal cords. So no one gets to hear it.
Unless you want to ride in the front seat occasionally. You'll have to ride for a long, long time, because in 7 years, I've heard her sing like 5 times. But if you're up for that commitment, I've got a passenger seat.
What was she singing?
She was singing Whiplash by Metallica.
How great would that be, by the way? Talk about that's like an unexpected turn. If suddenly Monica turns out to be a Metallica fan.
Oh, I've been urging my wife to do an entire cover of Kill 'Em All by Metallica. I'm like, that would be the greatest. Your sweet voice with all that music. It could be something. It could be a Paul Simon synthesis.
We get support from Apple Gift Card. Back to school is here, and for many, that means some big life transitions. Whether they are heading into a new grade or setting up a dorm for the first time, you want to give them something that actually supports their growth and success. Apple Gift Card is a versatile solution because it takes the guesswork out of gifting. It's not just about a new pair of AirPods for focus. It's about giving them the invaluable chance to choose the digital tools and subscriptions that suit their unique journey. They can use it for productivity apps on the App Store, movie nights on Apple TV, or extra iCloud storage for all those new memories. With Apple Gift Card, it's so empowering to give the students their freedom to allocate their own resources. Celebrate their new academic chapter. Visit applegiftcard.apple.com to celebrate their milestones and gift one today. This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place.
Let's talk bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, but it does not have to be that way.
With SoFi high-yield checking and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit.
No account or overdraft fees, which feels rare these days. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, perfect for getting ahead of a bill or grabbing what you need right when you need it.
Plus, get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/armchair. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. We've talked before about Rob building our website on Squarespace, and I bring it up again because it's a perfect example of what they do well. Rob had all the pieces, the content, the vision, the ideas, but he needed something to actually take all that and make it public facing. And Squarespace was that bridge. Maybe you're in the same spot. You've been developing something, a business, a skill set, a body of work, and it's been private. It's been yours, but at some point you're ready to put it out there, and that transition from private to public can feel like a huge leap. Squarespace makes it feel like a step. Beautiful templates, built-in SEO, email campaigns, scheduling, analytics, everything you need to go from I've been working on this to here it is, come find me. All in one place, no code, no stitching together a bunch of different tools. So if you've been sitting on something and waiting for the right moment, this might be it. Head to squarespace.com/DAX for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code DAX to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Living your best life means being extra where it counts and skipping the extra where you don't need it. Like in your cleaning products. That's where Seventh Generation comes in. Their bio-based cleaning power delivers a powerful clean with nothing extra in the bottle. Need a dish soap that cuts through the tough grease? A detergent that tackles the worst stains and odors? Seventh Generation handles it all without any dyes or artificial fragrances. Real clean doesn't have to come with a long list of add-ons. Upgrade to a powerful clean without anything extra. Look for Seventh Generation dish soap and laundry detergent wherever you shop for your cleaning products.
Are there 10 episodes?
10 episodes. I've got 4 episodes about this Air Force general in the Second World War called Curtis LeMay, who is responsible for one of the most consequential and controversial acts of the war. It starts out with an investigation of him, and he's someone who's in love with airplanes, obviously. And it's all about what happens when your kind of infatuation with technology and machines starts to cloud your judgment. But that's the heart of the season, is really those 4 episodes. And then I have one about this guy who was convinced that we elect student councils the wrong way. And it's my favorite one of the whole season. He goes to Bolivia and he starts to go to high school. I don't know why he's in Bolivia. It's a separate long story. He starts to go to high school. It seems like you guys are choosing your student council president all wrong. You should use a lottery.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so similar to your hiring practice, it sounds like.
Yeah, those are twin. Those 2 episodes are twin.
Oh, okay. I have to imagine it varies greatly, but if you had to come up with the mean average of how long it takes you to record an episode, what do you think that would be?
You mean report, write, and record? Or
Yeah, from your idea, you listen, you're like, great job, gang. Sounds wonderful.
Well, I'm doing multiple ones at once, but it's probably part-time a month an episode.
Uh-huh.
But I'm doing three at a time. So the whole thing takes 6 months to do 10 episodes, basically.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started in December.
Wow.
And then there's always a moment of panic when I don't have enough. And I despair. I go for long walks. I think about, switching professions. And then I come up with my final ideas.
Now, the current 2 topics of the day, when we're in such unique times, do you start up the engine of like, wow, how am I going to put this through Malcolm's eyes and tie it to something else? Are you interested in doing that? Do you feel like you can't wait to be a part of that exploration?
Well, I've written so much about police violence. It's been a big theme of 3 of my books. So I feel like I've said, there's been such an outpouring of extraordinary new voices on this issue. And I think I've said my piece. It's available if those who want to read it. And I don't feel I need to wade in, and I'd rather hear from others at this point.
Yeah.
I've been writing about this for 15 years.
Yeah.
And I do have an episode of this show that touches on this question on the other big issue of the day, on COVID. It's the last episode, which is always supposed to be the one that's the most meaningful. And it's all about how we choose to remember people who would otherwise be forgotten. I did it before COVID. I went to Jacksonville and I spent a lot of time talking to people who deal with the homeless in Jacksonville. And the whole point of dealing with the homeless is you're trying to make people visible who would otherwise be invisible, and remembered who would otherwise be forgotten. And then I wrote the episode after the COVID thing. And there were all kinds of parallels that I was able to draw about, because this is turning into an epidemic of the invisible and the forgotten.
Yeah.
By the way, I was curious if you'd seen the Epstein doc, because through my lens, it's not even a story of pedophilia. It's the ultimate story of income inequality. If you don't have desperation, you can't have an Epstein.
Yeah.
And I do think that more and more as these big issues are burbling to the top, we're starting to see a little connective tissue, right? Or we're starting to see some of the same root causes. And I feel like we're finally starting to glance a little further upriver, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah.
Well, we're very excited to have 10 more episodes of your show, Revisionist History, that is not on our network and we do not profit from whatsoever. And in fact, we will lose many listeners to your fantastic show. So we wish you well, Mr. Gladwell.
Thank you so much, you guys. Monica,
Yes.
Dax.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
This has
great
been really
seeing
fun.
you. I
Yeah.
can't wait for this is over because we must drive something together.
I know. We will. We will. I've been zipping around in my my Boxster. It's been very, very
Of
fun.
course you have. All right, we got to get you in some American muscle.
Yes. Exactly.
All
Okay,
right.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.